Uncle JJ, your favorite Uncle JJ, and as always, I got something to say. And today I want to say a lot. We got LeBron James possibly returning to the Cleveland Cavaliers. I'd say this would happen 2 years ago when I was on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. I'd be predicting this stuff. It's probably going to happen. They gave him a warm welcome last night. They've already opened their arms and said that they would invite him in. They would welcome him back with open arms. A Cleveland Cavalier had something slick to say after they beat the brakes off of the Lakers last night by 30. He told Donovan Mitchell that this is his home now, and they should respect him and treat him the same way they just treated that dude. He didn't even say LeBron's name when you return to Cleveland one day. Then he backtracked. He backpedaled a little bit after the game and kind of apologized. But I like how he said it the first time. Just leave it at that. Why you got to apologize? But anyway, there's a possible reunion for LeBron and the Cavs. He may finish his career there. They cheered every time Bronny got the ball when he finally got in the game after the game was pretty much over with. Giannis Antetokounmpo may finally be getting traded. He's finally came out and said what he's been thinking for 2 damn years, that he wants out. He thinks it's best for him to move on. I wish he would have been said that. I'm about to tell you where he'll possibly go. I'll give you some of his landing spots that they're saying. The Warriors is one of them. The Timberwolves have gotten in the mix. But at the end of the day, Giannis, just get this shit over with, bro. I have been sick of hearing about this. This should have happened in the offseason back in the summer of 2025. But I told y'all it may not happen until February, right before the trade deadline, which is February the 5th. The motherfucker ain't Kareem. So I'm just like, I'm over it. Leave. Bye. I'm going to talk about that in a second, man. I think Milwaukee, they did all they could do, though. You know, you want out, go out. Okay? And Bill Belichick, people are still talking about that shit. I'm over that shit, too. Like, okay, he didn't make the Hall of Fame. Yes, he should have. He should have. But he's going to make it one day. But it's just too much talk in sports, in mainstream sports media right now about that. And I'm going to tell you why I'm sick of hearing it. And what else do I want to mention? What else do I want to mention? And I'm going to give you my Royal Rumble predictions. If I got time, I'll do it all in this episode, but I don't want to cram all that stuff into one episode. And I may come back and do that on a completely different wrestling episode, and it probably won't be live because that's where I kind of lose half of the audience when I switch to wrestling. But I have a third of people coming in saying, oh, you do wrestling too? I'm a follow, I'm a subscribe, I'm a follow, I'm a subscribe. But then when I start talking about it, sometimes I lose some people. It just depends on the audience and the time of the day. Sometimes I'm here in the mornings. Sometimes I'm here in the lunch hour. Sometimes I'm here in the afternoon. I mean, in the evening. That's why you follow The Great Debate Show. If you like this content, it's available on all social media platforms. And subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, Grand Rising Kings and Queens. I hope all is well. I hope y'all have a terrific Thursday. It's Thursday, January 29th, 2026. The Cleveland Browns have a new head coach. I would love to see if any Brown fans are watching the show right now, because I would love to see or hear what you have to say about it. Dean is saying something very, very good right now. I can just see it from a distance. I just glanced at it from my peripheral vision. He said, why is Roger Craig not in the Hall of Fame? Man, we've been asking that question for over 10, 15 years. I have no idea, bro. I have no idea. You notice it always take Niner players to get in the Hall of Fame a little longer than they should. Eddie DeBartolo Jr., when he got in what, 2016, 2017, that was overdue. It was overdue. I'm going to tell you something that Eddie DeBartolo said. I don't know when this was. It had to have been recently. But somebody in the media asked him about, could you see yourself, man, what was that at? I just saw that, I believe, on Instagram, where one of the NBC Sports, Bay Area Sports or whatever, it was one of those guys in the media asked Eddie DeBartolo, can you see yourself, could you see yourself going in a 31-year drought without a Super Bowl victory? Now, I have an episode called The 31-Year Curse of the San Francisco 49ers. I did that motherfucker back in like November, October. Go check it out. It's on the YouTube channel. I encourage you to watch it. It's a good content. How did I know it would go 31 years? I just know what I know. Eddie DeBartolo's got a lot to do with why I know what I think I know. But anyway, Eddie DeBartolo Jr.'s answer was, I wouldn't dare. I wouldn't go 31 years without winning. You see, that was a certain standard when he was the owner of the 49ers before he gave it to his sister. And then she gave it to her husband, John York. And then he didn't know what the hell he was doing. And then he gave it to their son, Jed York. And in 2003, Terrell Owens said he had to get out of San Francisco because the Yorks are now taking over the franchise. I'm gone. That was in 2003. Now, 23 years later, it's 2026. Was T.O. wrong? Now, they've patched up their relationship and they're on good terms now, and I'm so glad because I would much rather him be a Niner than a Cowboy or an Eagle. But at that time, he was right. He needed to get out of there. And 31 years later, 23 years later since he left, still no championships. 31 years since we've gotten one. And I just was very, very amused when I saw that clip of Eddie DeBartolo Jr. saying he wouldn't go 31 years without a Super Bowl. That's just not his standard. He would find a way to win. He would spend the money when it needs to be spent. He would go get who he had to go get. Now, I know we didn't have a salary cap at that time, but I just can't see Eddie DeBartolo not making a way or finding a way to win and hiring the right coach that could do what Bill Walsh did back in the 90s, back in the 80s. Anyway, somebody put that out for a reason. I think they're trying to say something. Maybe finally the 49er fan base is catching on to what I've been saying for several years now. And maybe Kyle Shanahan will finally be under the hot seat in year 10 and John Lynch in year 10. I'm okay with keeping Kyle if you get rid of John, but I'd rather get rid of both because they both make bad picks. Okay, so before I switch to the NBA, I'm going to stay on football since somebody said something about that Roger Craig Hall of Fame thing. I just want to get this Bill Belichick stuff out the way real quick. Good morning to Cooper. Thank you very much. And they love the Broncos. Thank you, Maurice Reyes. Thank you very much for the comment. How y'all doing? Rhonda says, I like the Texans. And hello to you all. That's a Money in the Bank briefcase behind me. That's Michael Jordan, my GOAT. That's Seth Rollins on my WWE calendar. That's the great Steve Young down here below. And yeah, this is Big Gold. And this is my Niner Gold. This is a WrestleMania chair. Just had a few people on YouTube asking what is all that in my background. Let me go ahead and wrap this Bill Belichick stuff up real quick, shall I? I'm tired of hearing about it. Now, I broke this news before anybody else did on Tuesday afternoon. I told you all Tuesday morning, early Tuesday afternoon, I said, hey, Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, he is, but they didn't put him in. Now, everybody that's saying that it was wrong, the Hall of Fame committee is flawed, they're right. I'm right. I said it before they said it. We get it. The problem that I have is that nobody wasn't making this big fuss when Terrell Owens got screwed 3 years straight. Nobody made this big fuss every year that Roger Craig has not gotten in the Hall of Fame. Patrick Willis didn't get in his first year. Chris Carter went 6 years without getting in. Nobody said a thing when those players were getting robbed out of being first ballot Hall of Fames. Speaking of T.O., he brings up his Hall of Fame snub right now. Legendary wide receiver feels that an investigation. Damn, hold on. Let me make sure I read that right. Let's see what T.O. got to say. My dog. He feels investigation is long overdue. Yeah. And I know what he's also thinking, even though he probably won't say it. Why you motherfuckers didn't investigate it when I got robbed, when I got snubbed. And that's my problem now. Everybody's about to say World War III. Oh, man, let's get these people out of here. They're really about to get rid of some of these people because they broke some, they violated some of the bylaws and things like that. I don't give a damn. Look, Bill Belichick is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's got 8 Super Bowl championships, 6 as a head coach, 2 as a coordinator. However, the motherfucker did cheat. All right, let's not act like we don't know he didn't do it. And Bill Polian is lying, saying that he did vote for him or blah, blah, blah. He didn't say this or he didn't say that. We know that there's a long beef between Bill Polian and the Indianapolis Colts when he was with them at the time. and they were getting the brakes beat off them by the Patriots because there were rumors that Bill Belichick would send towel boys, water boys in the locker room to listen in on the Colts game plan. Their locker room would be tapped. People would go in and tell Tony Dungy and Peyton Manning to step outside. I wouldn't talk about your game plan in there. They can hear everything. We know that they got 40 tapes of them filming the walkthroughs, and you can see the charts, the game plan, defensive game plan, and everything that the Rams were doing before Super Bowl 36 in New Orleans back in 2001, 40 tapes. Then there was the Deflategate with Brady, and that's all Brady, not Belichick. That's mainly Brady. And one of the players for the Colts intercepted the ball and said, hey, man, I thought that ball felt a little light. I thought it would feel deflated, but I didn't think nothing of it. I was just happy to get the pick. This was a sign that Tom Brady probably needed to get on that juice, and that's probably how we got so many years that he got after the fact, because if he had to deflate footballs, that means he couldn't throw. That's what that means. Okay, then there was the headset gate in 2015. Well, the Steelers said that they heard elevator music in the headsets and they couldn't communicate with Ben Roethlisberger. So there's plenty of scandals. I understand. It's just that you didn't penalize them when they were doing this shit. You gave them the Super Bowls, and the media went on and went on and went on. Now we're hearing that, Bill Belichick was an asshole. He was always smug. He always was just giving snarky comments, and, he didn't treat us well in the media. Well, duh. He had been like that his whole career. So they pick a fine time to be petty with him now. I'm going to tell you where I'm okay with the Hall of Fame committee, even though they've snubbed a lot of people over the years. At least those motherfuckers are consistent. And that's what I wanted to say. At least they're consistent. I'm surprised they did this to Bill Belichick. I'll be even more surprised if they do it to Tom Brady, even though we know they won't. But we're talking about Deflategate right now. We should talk about it in a couple years when he's eligible. Eli Manning got snubbed again. His second time around, he still didn't get in the Hall of Fame. He wasn't a first ballot, and he's not a second ballot either. Now, the problem is they're saying we're not supposed to know this stuff yet. It's been leaked out. We're going to get rid of these people off the committee. It's because everybody wants to tear that bitch down right now, because I dare you not put Bill Belichick in. Look, y'all, he was a good coach, but the motherfucker ain't God. Not to me, okay? So, yeah, they should have investigated a long time ago. Don't be doing it now just because Belichick didn't get in. I'm kind of proud of that Hall of Fame committee. Not once have you ever heard me talk about the Hall of Fame committee and who gets inducted. I don't talk about it because years ago when I was doing the Spotify stuff, when I first started, I said I will never mention them again after T.O. got snubbed. I said I would never mention them again. Or it happened before I started podcasting, and I said because of that, I would never mention them because I thought that was wrong. Terrell Owens is one of my favorite players of all time. Like, to me, he's baby GOAT. That's just my opinion. I put him above Randy Moss, just by a smidge. And statistically, it shows. If Randy Moss doesn't come back and play 1 year for the 49ers in 2012, Terrell Owens is still number 2 in touchdowns all time. Randy Moss came back and got a whopping 4 touchdowns for us in 2012, and that's how he passed Terrell Owens. He doesn't lead T.O. in any other statistical category. Catches, yards, none of that. All right? T.O.'s my baby GOAT. And whether you've got him number 3 or number 4 or whatever, we know he should have gotten in first ballot. But Marvin Harrison did. Because Marvin Harrison ain't never done nothing on the field, but he did plenty of stuff from what I heard off the field. Terrell Owens didn't get caught up in nothing. So it proves the Hall of Fame, this is what they do. If they didn't like you, or some people didn't like you, or you did some things, regardless of your numbers and what you did on the field, you will be held accountable for that when it's time to put the votes in. But I will say at least they're consistent. The same thing they did to Terrell Owens and Chris Carter and Patrick Willis, and they're still doing it to Roger Craig and Charles Haley. Is Charles Haley not in yet? I don't think he is. They're still doing these things. Now they're doing it to Eli Manning. He's not a first ballot Hall of Famer or a second ballot Hall of Famer. And now they're doing it to Bill Belichick. At least they're consistent. I'll give them that. But y'all, for years, we've known the Hall of Fame committee ain't shit. We've been knowing that. And I don't appreciate them not giving that man first ballot now, but you gave him the Super Bowls. You should have took that away. All they did was fine the Patriots and, took away a few draft picks. And I mean, they really went to the extent to cheat. The things that I've heard they did in those reports that came out like in 2015. If anybody remembers that long ESPN report that came out in 2015, it was deep. I'm like, man, he went through all of that. Joey Porter with the Pittsburgh Steelers said that he would hear Tom Brady calling the audibles out. How does he know? How does he know what we're about to do? They probably was taping their walkthroughs too. So, I don't know. All right, y'all, let me get to... that's all I wanted to say about the Hall of Fame stuff. I just wanted to get that out. Eli Manning is not going to be a second ballot Hall of Famer. Bill Belichick is not a first ballot Hall of Famer. And all this does is just push other coaches back another year that has to wait because only one head coach gets in every year. People like Mike Holmgren, somebody who I really, really did like, who I thought was very underrated. I thought he should have gotten the Super Bowl with the Seahawks. He got one with the Packers. He would have had more with the Packers than Brett Favre, one of the most overrated quarterbacks of all time, was not his quarterback. So I really do think that somebody like Mike Holmgren needs to get in soon. But now we know he won't because he has to wait for them to stop being petty with Belichick. Mike Shanahan. These are coaches that are going to have to wait a little bit longer now because we know Belichick's getting in before those guys. And it's kind of sad because these guys have already been kind of waiting. Tom Coughlin, the guy who beat Bill Belichick twice, he's got to keep waiting now. And that's the messed up part about it. But again, at least the Hall of Fame committee is consistent. All right, staying on the NFL, y'all know that Drake May has a right shoulder injury, and they say he might have hurt it in the AFC Championship game in Denver. And if they had to play this week instead of next Sunday, he probably couldn't play. Does anybody think this is something to worry about? Nobody really gives the Patriots that much of a chance in this Super Bowl. And I'm going to break that game down later on, in the week or next week. I've got plenty of time to do so. But with him not even being 100%, how much of a chance do the Patriots really have? A lot is going on this week with the Patriots. Drake May is kind of banged up. Nobody's really talking about that because they're busy talking about their former coach who's not in the Hall of Fame. I just wonder, is it something going on? Are they trying to distract us, with what's really going to happen? Could the Patriots still upset the Seahawks? Because that's what it would be. Patriots are good, but nobody's really giving them a chance to beat Seattle, even if Drake May was 100%. I don't know. Could the Patriots beat the Seahawks again? Nobody sees that. But I'm just wondering why there's so much slander right now going on. People are forgetting to think, could the Patriots win the Super Bowl? Could Mike Vrabel pull this off? Jimmy Johnson was pissed off. Boy. He's pissed off. And he even snitched on some people. He even said, that dude used to do it. It just didn't work. So basically, he just said Bill Belichick is a better cheater than we were. He even admitted to trying to do some of the things that Bill Belichick did. They just didn't get nothing out of it. Yeesh. So everybody cheats. I guess that's what he's basically saying. Anyway, do you all still credit the person for winning even if they cheated? Or are you like the late, great Eddie Guerrero? If you're not cheating, you're not trying. And do I have any more NFL news? The New York Jets are still firing head coaches. And he just hired a new DC yesterday, Brian Duker. He used to be the Miami Dolphins pass game coordinator and secondary coach. Now he's the Jets' new defensive coordinator. He needs a lot more coaches to hire because he's let go of like 6 in the past few days. The Cleveland Browns hired Todd Monken. If there's any Brown fans watching, I would love for you to come in here and be a guest and tell me how you feel about that hire. I had a few Steelers fans tell me they hate the Mike McCarthy hire, and now I would like to know what Brown fans think about Todd Monken. He's been kind of respected around the league as far as an offensive guy. He did really good at Georgia. Kirby Smart is like 4-0 in big games under Todd Monk, and now he's like 1-3 without him. John Harbaugh saw that and hired him. Lamar Jackson had a great MVP year, his first year with Todd Monk, and then this past year, not so good, though. I'm not very fond of him. I don't think he's all that. I don't think he's that much better than Greg Roman. And I had said fire those guys. And Baltimore finally did that. Lamar Jackson was getting sick of Todd Monk, and I'm pretty sure Shadur Sanders will get sick of him too. He might not even want Shadur Sanders. I don't know if Shadur Sanders is the future for Cleveland or not, or for any team. Maybe he is, maybe he isn't. But the word is they still could go get a Malik Willis in a trade, or if he's a free agent, they'll just sign him, or they still could also or sign draft Ty Simpson out of Alabama. I don't really think Ty Simpson is that dude either. Malik Willis, he's definitely showed enough for people to kick the tires on him. But that's still Matt LaFleur. That was Green Bay. How would he look with the Cleveland Browns? I don't know. But the quarterback room in Cleveland is very full as it is, with Dylan Gabriel, Shadur Sanders, and Deshaun Watson, who they still won't let go of because of that contract they gave him. They may still add more quarterbacks. Do you think Todd Monken is the answer for the Cleveland Browns? LOX is in the building. He said still no Steve McNair or Eddie George. That's another thing. In the Hall of Fame, he's right. Still no Eddie George or Steve McNair. And this is why I don't do the Hall of Fame. There's two things that I stopped doing a long time ago. Watching the Hall of Fame inductees, because I used to love that shit. I mean, I've gotten teary-eyed at some of this stuff. Some of those guys. How can you not? And the NBA All-Star Weekend. I haven't watched those things in quite some time because none of it's the same anymore. Okay. All right. I don't know what Maurice is throwing mad emojis for. But I won't read comments that I don't understand. I can say that right now. Okay, Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh, curious to see how this goes. Thank you, Rob, for the comment. Hey, at least you're not saying that you're done. Somebody on TikTok said a few days ago that this was their last straw. After 30 years of being a Steeler fan. Some people are mad. Maybe everybody's kind of split with it. But what about Todd Monken in Cleveland? Is he going to help Shadur or Dylan Gabriel? Or is he going to bring in his own quarterback? You know he probably wants to. The man will be 60 in a couple of weeks. And this is his only chance that he's going to be a head coach ever. And he probably shouldn't be one now. But this is probably the best Cleveland could do. Remember when I told y'all 2 months ago we could have a whole new AFC North as far as the look goes? I said, what if Harbaugh and Tomlin both leave if they don't do well or if they don't make the postseason? And they both left. One stepped down, one got fired. Zach Taylor is the one who kept his job out of the whole damn group. Stefanski got fired. Harbaugh got fired. Tomlin stepped down. There's only one coach that will come back in 2026 in the AFC North that still has his job, and that's the one who should have got fired first, Zach Taylor in Cincinnati. We've got a whole new AFC North. I predicted that too. That's why y'all got to follow The Great Debate Show, which is available on all social media platforms and on YouTube. Just type in The Great Debate Show and hit that subscribe button. I'm going to come back and I'm going to do WWE Royal Rumble predictions. Is anybody tired of seeing Triple H on everything? Didn't I tell y'all like a year ago he's like the white Diddy? He's on all the commercials. He's on all the videos. The only thing he ain't doing is dancing and shit. Take that, take that, take that. That's all he ain't doing. That's the only thing he ain't doing that Diddy does. He ain't dancing. He's in everything. Are you ready? No, motherfucker. Ready for you to go away. Looked on ESPN the other day. He's on there. Damn, I can't get rid of this dude. Does anybody get sick of seeing Triple H on every damn thing? We get it, bruh. You run it. Woo. Anyway, thoughts on the power plant thing with the Niners? Tommy, we talked about that a lot. I ain't got time to talk about it right now. John Lynch and them said they would look into it, and that's good. They need to. I'm not trying to say I'm a conspiracy theorist, but people say I'm a conspiracy theorist. So, you know, hell yeah, I think it's something to look into. How do you feel about Ohio State? How do I feel about Ohio State? Oh, Ohio State is Ohio State. You know, they're not going anywhere. But maybe y'all are right. A lot of people tell me that they want Todd Day fired, and I was like, nah, they're gonna go back to back. But then they didn't. So maybe he'll be on the hot seat this time. All right, I think that's enough football I want to talk about. How does it feel knowing that the Seahawks logo is gonna be on your field? It ain't my field, pink taco lover. It's the 49ers field. So I won't feel no type of way about that. As a matter of fact, I hope they win the Super Bowl on their field. You didn't expect that response, did you? Y'all, the Seahawks going to the Super Bowl is the best thing that could happen to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Because hopefully, Jed York will come in throwing stuff off the desk. You know what I'm saying? You know, chunking stuff in the office, throwing stuff around in the office like, hey, man, when are we going to do that? Did you see what Mike McDonald just did in his second season as a head coach? Motherfucker, you've been here for 9. And you ain't got nothing to show for it other than some Super Bowl losses. I would love for the Seahawks to win this Super Bowl. I really would, to be honest with you. And I really can't see them losing unless it's fake. We'll see. Not saying the Patriots ain't got a chance, but I don't really see how they can do it if they just let them guys play. Yeah, it's dark in Cleveland, says Stod Prods. How do you feel about it, brother? Well, I guess he just said how he feels about it. I don't know. Nobody wanted to come to Cleveland, though. So that's the best you could do is get a 60-year-old who ain't never been a head coach, and he knows this is his only shot. So he was the one in the back of the crowd saying, I'll take it. I'll take it. Yep. Let's get to some NBA news real quick. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Y'all, I'm getting tired of this man. I've been saying for a year now he's going to get traded eventually. I don't know why he just won't come out and say that he wants out. But finally, he's told his people, that he thinks it's time to move on. This should have happened in the summer, man. Last summer. I knew it was going to linger all the way into this season and the trade deadline. But the NBA always like to throw some spades on the card table right when the NFL have their Super Bowl week. And last year, we won't have nothing as big as last year, but you remember the infamous Luka Doncic trade from the Mavs to the Lakers that broke the fucking internet. And we almost forgot, all the podcasters around the world, including myself, we were almost forgetting to talk about the Eagles and the Chiefs who were playing in like 5 days in the Super Bowl. Because it was like, the Mavs did what? The Lakers got who? So here we go. The NBA has been holding this shit till now, and I'm telling you the reasons. Because they always like to compete and try to be like the NFL. Where do you think they get those challenges and all that stuff from? Anyway, Giannis Antetokounmpo is ready to move on as the Bucks begin listening to aggressive offers. Aggressive. He's ready to find a new home at the trade deadline, and I'm gonna give you some of the teams that he could go to. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I finish, Giannis. Browns DC, Jim Schwartz. How could I talk about Todd Monken and the head coach hiring and not talk about this? Jim Schwartz was supposed to be the front runner for that head coaching job in Cleveland, and it didn't happen. And Myles Garrett doesn't like it. He already posted something last night where there's a guy, looks like he's a cook or works at a supermarket or something, but he's outside on the bench with his head down just like this. That is the emotion that Myles Garrett feels right now. He should have thought about that before he signed that big-ass contract. Let's see if he asks for a trade this offseason. Anyway, the Browns head coach candidate is very upset. Jim Schwartz was visibly emotional during his goodbyes after not getting the job. It has been said that he may not return. It's been said that he's already told the coaching staff that he won't return. Some people saying they don't really know for sure, it's in the air. Now, the Browns still have him under contract, but we'll see. Jim Schwartz's name immediately got linked to my San Francisco 49ers as far as defensive coordinator job goes, and I would love for that to happen because I don't like Gus Bradley, and I don't think the 49ers should stay in-house. I think if Kyle does that, he just proves me right again on how stubborn he can be and how he's just stuck in his own ways. And he doesn't think outside the box. He doesn't have an open mind. He's just too close-minded to the things that he wants to do and he wants to stick with. Gus Bradley sucks. You can't be a good DC getting fired as many times as he has. They need to be trying to get Jim Schwartz in there right now and overpay him to come. There's other people looking for a DC, like Robert Saleh, I think, with the Tennessee Titans. He would like to get him, run that 4-3 that he's running out there. And he would also be linked to a few other teams, too. But the 49ers is one of the first teams that came up. And let's see if Jim Schwartz stays in Cleveland or if he leaves. I think if he can get out of this contract somehow, or if they let him go, I think he's going to go. Curious to know if you were tuning into the Rumble. Thank you for the question, Steph Lowe. I am tuning into the Rumble, and I'm going to be live here on TikTok streaming it. I sure am. All you got to do is just come follow. If you will, please follow the Great Debate Show Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Central. 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm sorry. I will be here live for the Royal Rumble. Why is it that early? They're in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. What's up, Flying Taco Snake? He said Giannis to the Sixers. Ooh. Now, who does the Sixers got to give up? Embiid, or can we get Giannis and Embiid together? Flying Taco said, you heard it here first. Hey, man, that's my line. Thank you for the comment, brother. Rob said, who would Philly trade to get Giannis? Oh, he's talking to Flying Taco Snake. Yeah, that's a good question, man. I don't know. Somebody told me on Twitter yesterday that the Knicks will never get Giannis. And the Knicks is one of the teams that is linked to him. Now, that guy's a Celtic fan, and I don't think he wants that to happen, but he's saying that there's no way the Bucks would trade Giannis to the Knicks, and they don't have the trade capital to do it. Man, there's always a way. As Tommy once said on the sitcom Martin, always a way, dog. They can make it happen. The Knicks said, there was a report a year or two ago when it wasn't long after they traded for Karl Anthony Towns. Another report came out and said they only got Karl Anthony Towns because they were using him to get the big fish on the market. That's what was said. I told y'all the Cavs are open to a LeBron reunion. Cleveland would gladly welcome James back in free agency with open arms. I knew this would happen, and it probably will. I don't care, though. Where are the teams? John Gruden turned down the Jets job, not the head coaching job. Just he didn't want to be on Aaron Glenn's staff. I wonder why. I know I had it on here. There's some teams. I'm trying to give you the teams that are in the running for. The Dubs are also willing to trade Jimmy Butler. That's another reason why they could get Giannis. They would be interested in dealing Jimmy Butler and Jonathan Kuminga and some picks for Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that kind of makes the Warriors the front runners as far as getting Giannis. But Giannis said he was an East Coast guy and he didn't want to go to the West Coast. So we'll see if he pulls the plug on that. Stefano laughing at me about what I said about Gruden. I know, right? Are we getting Debo back? I hope not. Do you think the Thunder will get 70 wins this season? No. They've already lost 10. Aaron Glenn get fired next year. That's why. I understand. He probably will. But I hope he can get the right coaching staff together and get it right. I'm glad the Jets held their word and they didn't fire him this time, even though there were a lot of good coaches available. New England gets to pick Threads as home team. Right. Come on. Where was that at? I already told you about the 49ers being linked to Jim Schwartz. That was according to Tom Pelissero. Brock Lesnar announced on Pat McAfee show yesterday he will be at the Royal Rumble. He didn't say he would be in the Royal Rumble. He said he will be there. I think he's going to interfere with the Gunther and the AJ Styles match. I don't think Styles is retiring just yet. I think they're just trying to make us believe they're way too much. I told you Eli Manning misses the Hall of Fame again. They're consistent now. At least they're not just fucking with some of the people. They're fucking with all of them. Michael Penix Jr. is closer to a return. The Falcons quarterback, ACL, thinks he'll be ready to go by April. That means he'll be ready for week 1. Adam Schefter teases a A.J. Brown trade is coming soon. They should have did that at the trade deadline, but yes, it's coming. Brandon Ayuk for A.J. Brown. I've been saying this for 6 months. Can we make it happen? All right, here's the teams for Giannis. The latest Giannis buzz. The Warriors have the most attractive package to offer the Bucks, and I just told you. It's Kuminga, it's Jimmy Butler, even though he's done for the year with a torn ACL, and they're going to give him some picks. I don't know if the Bucks will accept that, though. Other teams that want Giannis, the Knicks, the Heat, and the Timberwolves just joined the Golden State Warriors in those talks. Would you rather see Giannis with the Warriors, the Heat, the Knicks, or the Timberwolves? Now, he likes the East, so I would say the Knicks and the Heat are the two places that he would like to go. But Karl Anthony Towns is going to have to be in that trade in order for the Bucks to do it. And as far as the Heat go, y'all, I'm just going to be real with you. I ain't a big fan of Giannis. The motherfucker ain't Kareem. And I'm really tired of talking about him. Like, who does he think he is? I'm going to tell you some shit, and you're going to say I'm a hater. I'm going to tell you some real shit. And I said this back on my Spotify days. The Phoenix Suns had the Milwaukee Bucks up 2-0 in the NBA Finals back in 2021. And I know the Bucks came back and won 4 straight, and he's an NBA champion. He did bring a championship to the city of Milwaukee. But, man, let's not act like Chris Middleton didn't snap out in that Finals. And ever since Chris Middleton stopped being Chris Middleton and he started getting injured a lot, Giannis and the Bucks ain't did nothing ever since. I just had to say it. There, I said it. I ain't the biggest fan of him. The motherfucker can't shoot. All he is defense. Yes, he can protect the rim, and he gets layups and dunks. That's it. And he goes to the free throw line, and he takes forever to shoot a damn free throw just to brick it. I don't get all the hype. These teams are just desperate, in my opinion. They're desperate. The Warriors need to realize that they're done. The window's closed. It's time to rebuild and start this thing over. Burn it down. And even if Steph got to go, he got to go. But stop trying to keep putting on another brick on top of another brick on top of Giannis ain't going to get the Warriors no championship. The Warriors just, they don't have it anymore. And I've known that ever since Bob Myers walked out of the front office. And he went to do broadcasting for a minute with ESPN. And now he's in Philadelphia. Pay attention. Watch out for the Sixers. They're coming back. You see what Maxey and the rookie is doing? Edgecombe and Paul George is looking like he's being rejuvenated. He stepped out of transformation chamber the other night. Embiid, they're actually all on the court playing healthy for a minute. We'll see how long it lasts, but Bob Myers is now kind of running things over there in Philly. When he left Golden State, I knew then this dynasty's over. He knows it. He put it together. He knows it's over. But they're going for Giannis. I would love to see him with the Timberwolves. If you could keep Rudy Gobert and have Giannis, ain't nobody getting nothing at the rim. Nothing. I mean, the second chance points, the second chance points that they could get on offense. You know, Anthony Edwards could throw up 3 bricks in a row, and he'll probably get a chance to shoot a 4th one and knock it down. Swish. Julius Randle will have to go. Mike Conley. I don't know who all they would be willing to give up, but I would hope that they could keep Gobert and what's his name? Alexander Walker. McDaniels. Because Jaden McDaniels is a really good defender. But yeah, people like Conley, DiVincenzo, maybe Julius Randle, they're going to be gone. Now, the Timberwolves are trying to make a move because they've been calling Memphis about Ja. They were interested in Ja Morant. They're the only team that kind of is. But we know the Heat and the Timberwolves, their names have been linked to Ja and Giannis. One of them going to pull the trigger. We'll see where he goes. I'm just ready for it to be over with because he been wanting to leave Milwaukee. He just don't want y'all to talk about his ass. But we're in a time now where everybody does this. The league is just different. Modern NBA today is not what it was when this brother right here was playing. And if y'all are just listening and ain't watching, I'm pointing at the GOAT behind me. Well, he's my GOAT. Michael Jeffrey Jordan, who wouldn't dare leave the Chicago Bulls. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah, Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan. These players wouldn't dare leave where they were at. Well, they started it at. Well, they made a name for themselves. Well, they won championships at. You know, could you imagine if Kobe told Tracy McGrady to come play with him? Or if he went to go play with Tracy McGrady? It would have been a hell of a team, damn. But he wouldn't dare. No, I'd rather beat you. What if Michael Jordan said, damn, I can't beat y'all, Isaiah. Let me come to Detroit. Huh? What if Jordan went to go join Penny and Shaq in Orlando? Man, that would have been a fire-ass team. But they never done it. But people like LeBron, oh, he started something. Man, I can't beat these Celtics. Hey, Wade, I'm coming to South Beach. Chris Bosh, come with me. And now everybody's doing it. Now, they may not be putting together super teams anymore, but nobody's staying put. And that's what kind of sucks about the NBA today. You can call me old-fashioned. You can say I need to get over it. I don't care. I like what I like, and you can like what you like. So there's a report right now saying that LeBron said goodbye to Cleveland last night. He said that could very well be his last time playing in Cleveland, meaning that this would be his last year. Again, I don't care. I wish that motherfucker would retire. I wish Giannis Antetokounmpo will get traded. If Ja's going to get traded, bye. Peace out. Let's just get this stuff over with. All right. Where do y'all want Giannis going? Let me read a few comments and let's get this thing started. My guy, there's very little interest in Ja. I know. Around the league right now, multiple teams and non-big media have mentioned that. I know. I've said that a week ago. I said if he gets traded, I wish it would go ahead and happen. But the Heat were linked to Ja at one point, and the Timberwolves were at one point. You got to listen to me now. King Mikey, how you doing, brother? He said, can't believe it's been 6 years since Kobe been gone. It has. It has. And, yeah, that it's officially 6 years now because I remember it happening somewhere around this time, late January. It was just a few days after my birthday. Yep, I remember that. I was writing, and I heard the news, and then I got a phone call, and somebody said, man, I did you hear something about Kobe? Man, I know that shit ain't real, though, is it? Because you know the internet be killing people all the time. And I'm like, yeah, it's some bull. They just said Bill Cosby and Jamie Foxx was dead last week. So I'm like, eh. And then I seen the damn TMZ report, and y'all know TMZ don't get nothing wrong. And I was like, whoa. Yep, shout out to the Mamba, man. Real. Long live the Black Mamba, man. Kobe was a hell of a ball player, man. Hell of a ball player. King Mikey, you finna break me up, man. You finna break me down. Rip the Kobe, though, man. It has been 6 years now. Penny, Shaq, and MJ would have been odd, says Dwayne BTO. Well, it don't matter. We would have never saw it anyway because them brothers didn't move like that. Charles Barkley did it in 96. He was traded, joined up with Olajuwon and Drexler. But that's a trade, though, brother. That's different. And I remember that. Because I'm probably older than you, so I definitely remember. King Mikey, I agree with everything you saying, Unc. Thank you. Guys were teaming up way before LeBron. Oh, man. Well, I get this as a LeBron fan. Not reading any more of his comments. Who was teaming up besides the Houston Rockets that year? Besides that. And Pippen would have stayed in Chicago if the damn... You watched The Last Dance. Jerry Krause wanted them out. He wanted to break that team up, and that's what he did after 98. So those guys ended up where they ended up. Ain't nobody been doing it like this. Back then, they were not doing it. But you know, these people today in this generation would love to believe that they're so much better than our generation. We don't know what we talking about. All of that. I agree with everything you're saying. LeBron needs to retire. Yes. Who is your 1, 2, 3? MJ, Kobe, and LeBron? Y'all, I'm going to say this. Wow, that's not a bad list to say MJ, Kobe, LeBron. We got to put more respect on Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, people like that. We do. We do. And where does Larry Bird fall in that category? Where does Isaiah Thomas and Magic fall in that category. We can't put these people out just because people like LeBron and Kevin Durant and James Harden are passing everybody in the passing stats. It's a different league now. It's a different era. And everybody's just shooting. You miss it, come back down here, transaction my ass, I'm running to the corner, I'm going to shoot another one. That's all it is today. I don't have a problem with MJ 1, Kobe 2, LeBron 3, but LeBron's 4 championships is kind of like Bill Belichick's 6 Super Bowls. It's a little bit tainted. There's an asterisk by it. Just like they're saying right now with the Hall of Fame people, the scandals is why Belichick is not in the Hall of Fame. Well, LeBron went to Miami to get those first 2 rings. And then the motherfucker went back to Cleveland only because he saw Kyrie was a star. And he wasn't happy with the roster all the way, so he said, I need Kevin Love too. Those guys ahead of LeBron like MJ and Kobe, they never really played general manager. They might have asked them or they might have put their input in, but they were never general manager. LeBron has been GM damn near everywhere he's been. Even Miami a little bit. Because Pat Riley still wanted to win. So I'm just saying. Then LeBron went to LA and he had to get AD. Like he just, I got to get AD. Forget these young guys. Forget Kuzma and Brandon Ingram and all of them. Now, man, go get me AD. And he got a championship. He did. But all of his championships are tainted. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. And he was called the chosen one. So he's supposed to have like 7 rings. That's all I'm saying. I'm okay with putting LeBron at 3. But what about Duncan? What about Olajuwon? They stayed with their teams and they won multiple championships. Shout out to Olajuwon because Jordan had to retire for him to get him. But boy, did he take over when he was gone. And Kobe, let's be honest, y'all. If the Chris Paul trade didn't get reneged, if they didn't renege on that, Kobe would have had 6 or 7. I ain't gonna lie. Even I gotta admit that. So, yeah, MJ 1, Kobe 2. I don't know if LeBron is 3, though. As far as just the greatest athlete of all time, yeah, he's probably number 1. But if we just talking what we talking, he's top 5. But, man, I think Duncan and Olajuwon don't get the respect they deserve. Duncan was just one of those boring, consistent players that didn't entertain anybody. Kind of like what we used to say about Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers is more fun to watch, though. He's more entertaining. Peyton Manning is entertaining, but Brady did all the winning. That's the same thing Duncan used to do. Whatever Kobe and Shaq didn't win, guess who would win? Tim Duncan. And yes, of course, Shaq. Of course, Shaq. And I want to give, the LOX said, don't forget Melo. Melo was a damn good player. He just didn't seem to make anybody better around him. But I want to give Melo credit. He didn't go jumping on teams trying to win championships. He just said, nah, I'll just take out his cash and stay right here and average 30. Melo was a bad boy, though. But nah, he don't belong in the top 5, though. Who had the Admiral? David Robinson. Can't sleep on him either. Thank y'all for the comments. Those Spurs were good, man. I'm bragging about the Spurs right now, LOX. Charles Green, how you doing over there? Young Zay said, let's go Hawks. Kenley Sellers, what's up, man? Thank you for the gift. Thank you for the badge. Kenley Sellers said Duncan is top 5. See what I mean? People be sleeping on Duncan. I appreciate my boy Ken not doing that, though. Even if he's number 5, he definitely deserves to be in that category. Thank you for the comment, Kenley. I agree with that. But is LeBron 3? I think Olajuwon was better than Duncan. So can I say Olajuwon 4, Duncan 5? Is LeBron 3 or is it Magic? I know y'all gonna come in here and say, but he played with Kareem. I just told you all the superstars that LeBron had to go play with to win championships. Anyway, I know who ain't Kareem. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Get your ass over there to the Knicks or the Heat or the Timberwolves or the Warriors. Go wherever you going and get this shit over with because I'm tired of hearing about you. I'm tired of talking about you. All right. That's pretty much all I got when it comes to the sports stuff for right now. The committee says voters may be removed if bylaws were violated. Emmett the Bill Belichick snub. Yeah, T.O. was right. This shit should have been investigated long before this Belichick stuff. But nobody gave a damn. That's why I don't give a damn right now. Do you think Eli Manning should have been in the Hall of Fame this time around? He got snubbed for a second straight time. This is the person who beat Belichick and Brady twice. But I got to give it to the Hall of Fame committee. They're consistent about not putting people in when they probably should. I will say this about Eli Manning. Even though he did beat the Patriots twice, he didn't do shit else. Eli Manning used to have terrible, terrible seasons. Missed the playoffs a lot. It's just when he got there, you better watch out. That's why it was so shocking when he would do what he would do, because it's like, damn, Eli went all the way, didn't he? He didn't really get that much, but when he got there, watch out. Eli Manning, not a first ballot Hall of Famer, not a second ballot Hall of Famer. Can we get Roger Craig in the Hall of Fame? Damn. How are we going to talk about Christian McCaffrey and what he's doing? He just passed Marshall Faulk and who? Roger Craig, the first motherfucker that started doing that stuff. Can we get Roger Craig in the Hall of Fame? Damn. If you're going by rings, then Bill Russell is number one. No doubt about that, back end child. How you doing, man? Where you been? LeBron at 3? Come on, Unc. I'm not saying he's 3. They're saying he's 3. Or they're asking me what I put him at 3. What are you saying? He's number 1? Probably is. Probably is. Look, y'all, I used to rock with LeBron, whether y'all can believe it or not. I was one of his biggest fans. I'm not going to lie. People thought I was a Cleveland Cavalier back in the day. Because I used to hate on Kobe, because Kobe reminded me too much of my boy right there behind me, Michael Jeffrey Jordan. I used to kind of hate on Kobe. And I was just like, around about 06, 07, 05, 06, I'm like, man, this motherfucker just too good, man. I mean, he took everything he learned from Jordan, and he's kind of doing it even better. Damn, this boy bad. And I started saying that. And as he got, and as he was on his way out the league, I started to respect him a lot more too. Because I realized that he was the last of a dying breed. I knew that the league was heading in a whole nother direction. And that's why I respected him when he didn't have a Twitter account until his last year in the NBA. And he told people like Kevin Durant and LeBron James, y'all too buddy. I like that. That was the competitive nature that he had. LeBron and them guys don't say that now. And it's okay to look up to LeBron. He's a good guy. He's not bad. He's just wants way too much attention, and he always dramatic, and he's always whining and bitching. He don't never get fouled, but we're always supposed to believe this 6'8", 250-pounder is really hurt down there on that floor. It just makes me sick, and I get tired of it. And then he went from humble to over-arrogant. Every time he scores, he got a flex. We get it, LeBron. You can play. You can ball. And now you can shoot. I hope this is his last season. Seriously. But I just wonder, will he go away? Because most of these great players don't know how to go away. Eli is good, but not great. That's a good comment, Ricky. The Tom Brady killer. That's Eli Manning you're talking about, right? Bill Russell. Bill Russell was a bad boy, man. Elijah Wan was a better player. Duncan had a better career. That is true. That we can agree on. T3. We can agree on that. Because Tim Duncan had a hell of a career. 5 championships. And he should have had 6 if it wasn't for Ray Allen in Miami. That we can agree on. Elijah Wan didn't have the better. I still think he might have had the better career, but if we're just going by rings, he didn't. Statistically, I don't know. Elijah Wan is the best big man he's the best big that I've seen in my time. And I've said the same thing about Barry Sanders at running back. And I still ain't seen anybody better than those guys yet. I don't care what the stats say, how long they played or didn't play. I don't care. Barry Sanders is the greatest running back that I've seen in my lifetime, and Elijah Wine's the best center that I've ever seen. Duncan is the best power forward. I know he ended up kind of moving to center too, but he's the best power forward of all time. No doubt about it. Even though I thought Kevin Garnett and Chris Webber were more flashier, more entertaining. Fundamentally, they just weren't better all around. It's time for me to bring back these top fives, top tens. I ain't did it since the Spotify days, and it's time to bring that back. This is the Great Debate Show, and everybody's got their own top five. Everyone doesn't agree that it's MJ, Kobe, and LeBron. Some people now think it's LeBron, Kobe, and MJ. Some people are as disrespectful enough to say Jordan's not even top five. Some people say Steph Curry is the GOAT. I mean, this generation, there's no telling what their list will sound like. But I would be interested in hearing that. All you got to do is just say you want to be a guest on TikTok, and I can put you in. And on YouTube, well, you got to send me a contact or something, your Gmail or something like that, and I can send you a link. And you can come in and we can get on a split screen and we can talk if we really got a great debate. So if y'all want to do that on YouTube, since I don't really debate with anybody other than when we're talking here, y'all can send me an email, man, at KINGOFDASIP21. Just the numbers, 21. That's kingofthesip21@gmail.com. If you send me that, I will send you a link. But you got to send me that and tell me what you want to debate about. Like, I remember when I used to do the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, and that used to get heated. Man, that used to get heated. Because some people still can't see Dan Marino not being on their list, even though he ain't got no Super Bowls. But people watch Dan Marino, and they think he was the best thing since sliced bread. Hell, I had an uncle that was crazy about him. May he rest in peace. Didn't really even watch football like that, but just let me know when Dan Marino's on. So we had some great debates. We're going to get back to that now that the football season is almost over with. Well, y'all, who's going to win, the Seahawks or the Patriots? Do you think that the Patriots can win, even though Drake May has a shoulder issue on his throwing arm? I don't know. We'll see. Every team LeBron goes to, they win. Kobe and Jordan could never do that. They never went to other teams. They never went to other teams. And LeBron goes to get every all-star he can go get when he goes to other teams. What is y'all talking about? That's what I get for trying to read all the comments. Steph Flo said MJ, Kareem, and Duncan. I'm not mad at that one at all. Respect. Steel Dre, would the Rockets have won their rings if Michael hadn't retired? Probably not, but he did. And Olajuwon deserves credit for that. What about Moses teaming up with Dr. J, both the previous MVP? Says Cali Cal. I don't know if he did that in free agency or not. I ain't gonna lie, that's kind of before my time, y'all. Just because I call myself Unc, y'all started calling me this shit. That's because they call me Unc don't mean I'm really Unc. Do I got a few nieces and nephews? Yeah, but that's a little bit before my time. And you Googling too, Cali Cal. Look, y'all, say what you want to say. The NBA is different now. All right? Stop trying to come up with ways. Cat and Nick's rift over Giannis. I told y'all Cat was going to be the one that's going to get gone. Stop trying to make it look like it was so bad back then. It was not. Damn. I was just talking to some YNs the other day, and they claimed that Biggie and Pac were like the worst rappers of all time. Really? You got to say the worst? Damn. I mean, come on, man. I can't debate with people that think NBA Youngboy is the GOAT of hip-hop. It's just a different era. We're going to think different. That's just it. About to argue with these YNs about that. Anyway, Karl Anthony Towns has hard feelings since his name was mentioned in the trade rumors last summer. Well, he's about to be He's about to have those feelings get even harder because his name is going to be in the damn trade this year if they get him. Hell, this week, next week. The trade deadline is on February 5th. It's January 29th. So that's coming soon. Steflo said Giannis to Houston. Yeah, I don't know about that. They need a point guard. The 49ers need to rebuild. I agree. But they don't. Steel Dre said clickbait. 1983? Okay. That's still a long time ago. Callie Cal said, I want to be on guest on TikTok. Yeah, I kind of thinking I don't want you to be the guest, though, man. I'm kind of thinking I don't need you on here. Because you're just going to say some off-the-wall shit. That's what I'm thinking. What you want to talk about? What you want to be on the guest and talk about? Or debate, I should say. And let's understand what debate means, y'all. It don't mean arguing. It don't mean getting disrespectful. And it don't mean you're right or you're winning the debate just because you get louder. Duncan had 2 MVPs. Dream only had 1. Okay, damn. Now we doing MVPs? Kinley? Elijah Wan was still better. I'm sorry. In my opinion. But it was hard for the Dream to get MVPs when Jordan was getting all of them. And I ain't gonna lie, Duncan shouldn't have got one of them. We know the year that Kobe should have got the MVP and Duncan got it. Then there was another year I think they gave it to Steve Nash and Kobe should have got it. Kobe got robbed out of a few of them because of that damn Colorado shit. But you're right, the facts are the facts, Kinley. Okay. I think I've read enough comments. I appreciate y'all. Ricky said Moses. We're talking about Moses Malone. Curry, hell no. That ain't me saying that, Ricky. That's some of these YNs. Revenge game. He's talking about the Seahawks and Patriots. Hawk fan for life. Good morning, man. How you doing? He said, hope all is well. It is. Same to you, brother. Same to you. Hakeem has the best single season in NBA history. Now you're saying something, Callie Cal. What you want to talk about? He said, I love sports. What you want to talk about? Just give me one debate. Today I've been talking about Giannis and where he's going. Even though I wish he'd gone and go somewhere because the motherfucker ain't Kareem. I talked about Belichick, Eli Manning, all that Hall of Fame shit. And why the fuck is Roger Craig still not in? And I talked about, I had time to go ahead and do my Royal Rumble predictions. I really did, but that's when I started losing, y'all. That the NFL is rigged. All right, you got me sold. Come on in here, man. Send it and I'll hit the invite button. I mean, I'll accept the invite. Come on. You got like 5 minutes of my time. Y'all remember that, Martin? Mad Dog, no good. You want to go get 5 minutes of my time? That's all the time I need. Hey, man, Martin's the GOAT. That's what we should be debating. Top 5 sitcoms all time. If Martin ain't in that motherfucker, and if it ain't number 1, I would like to see, can we get you drug tested? Mad Dog saying that's all the time I need. Martin was scared in the motherfucker. All right, man, come on, Callie Cal. He said he wants to talk about the NFL being rigged. I can talk about that. He been watching more than what he's leading on. He knows what I be saying then. Come on in here. Where you at? Ricky Owens said best running backs. I've done it before, but I can do it again. Because they might have took all my stuff down on Spotify, but I've had those episodes up for a while. Barry Sanders is my best all time. But I know technically, statistically, it's Emmett. But, man, we've had so many good running backs, though, came through since those guys played and left the league. That's a good one, though, Ricky Owens. We can do the best running backs. How do I get in? Well, it's supposed to be something asking if you want to be a guest, and then I just hit the accept button. Now, I've had issues with it at times, and then there's been times where people have came right in. I can't tell you why that is. I'm new to social media, been gone for a minute. It's okay. Oh, damn. I don't see it on here now, though. What you mean you've been gone for a minute? Have you been doing some community service work Nah, let me stop. I'm playing. I'm playing, man. Now, man, if you don't see it, somebody help me out. Frank the Tank, are you in here? My guy Frank the Tank used to come in here all the time and talk Cowboys and other things, football or WWE related. And man, I don't know what it is that he hits, but all I do is just say accept. Yeah, I know. I was joking, but I figured that, Callie. I figured that. I got a brother just got out from 11 years, so I know. I'll join on TikTok next time. Come on down, Kinley. Come on down. We can have us a good old The 4-9 show, flashback. Hey, if you missed the episode a few days ago, I did one on YouTube. Check it out. Go subscribe to my YouTube channel, brother. I talked about the 5 things the 49ers need to do this offseason in order to close the gap so they can get where the Seahawks are now, the Super Bowl again. Shout out the Cowboys. Okay. Shout out Cowboys. Okay, bet. All right, that's a bet. We definitely can do it, Kenley. I would love to hear another Niners fan point of view and their perspective on what they think we should be doing, because some of us are split on Kyle Shanahan. I think we all agree on John Lynch, but a lot of us are split on Kyle. Every time I say get rid of Kyle, they say, well, who are you going to replace him with? Somebody that can draft. Somebody that knows how to just be the head coach and not wear 2-3 hats. Head coach, OC, / general manager. Hell, in 2024, I think he was trying to be the defensive coordinator too. That's why we looked so much better when Saleh came back, and he looked like a better head coach because he didn't have to worry about the defense. He wore too many hats. Cowboys gonna franchise tag Pickens. That's true, they will. Just pay him. But they are gonna tag him. I don't know, to be honest. Kyle got y'all to the playoffs. Y'all had mad injuries. That's all the time, though. And that never happened before we had Kyle. But you're a Cowboy fan, so I can understand that Kyle Shanahan looks like a damn good coach to you right now, I'll bet. And that's no shot. I'm just saying, like, you know Jerry Jones don't be trying to hire good head coaches that don't want him over their shoulder. All right, well, I guess I can't get that dude in. I was trying to get him in, but looks like it's not happening. He said, ha, facts. No, you spitting facts. I appreciate you. I appreciate you recognizing that. That must be a TikTok thing. I don't TikTok, so we won't talk. I don't tick, so we won't talk. Good one, Hawk fan. Yeah, but like I said, if you send me an email to my Gmail, kingofthesip21@gmail.com, give me your contact, and I can shoot you the link to where I can get you in here on YouTube, and we'll do the split screen. That's KINGOFDASIP21. KingoftheSip21@gmail.com, and I'll get y'all in here so we can have some good debates. Sherry says, I'm a Raider fan. I understand. I feel sorry for you, but hey, if you get Mendoza and if you put the right stuff around Mendoza, y'all will be all right. I know you don't really believe that, and I don't either, but I'm just trying to be nice. I really do hope the Raiders get this shit right for a change. I miss saying the Raiders. I miss having these clashes with 49ers and Raiders. That was a classic, legendary thing. Now Raiders don't even really fight with us no more because they ain't got nothing to talk about. And I think that's just sad for the NFL. The NFL is, John Madden said it too, the NFL is always better when the Raiders are good and they're on television, national television. And we got to get back to that. Remember when y'all thought John Gruden was going to get y'all back to that when he returned? Yeah, right. RJ Basketfoot. Damn, how is it the Niners keep going to the playoffs but keep underwhelming because of injuries? It's very frustrating. Tell me about it, RJ. But when I say to get rid of Kyle, everybody wants to argue with me. Who you going to replace him with? Somebody that won't get these people hurt. His style, his method of football, his philosophy, it's very, very physical. And it wears you down. By the time you get to the end of the season, they're They're fatigued. Their bodies are beat up. And you telling me we got to win 3 or 4 more games to be champions? They're already tore down and broke down by the playoffs. So electromagnetic substations or not, this has been happening under Kyle Shanahan for a while. And I just think it's time to look into that and look into who do we replace this dude with? You had Harbaugh, you had Tomlin. Not that I'm fond of those guys, but there were coaches that were available this year. I would have took Joe Brady, who the Bills just hired. I would have took Robert Saleh to just be promoted to head coach if you fire the general manager and you get a good offensive coordinator, which I would have been cool with the Clay Kubiak dude. Just let him call plays. Kyle won't let nobody do nothing. He got to run everything. All right. Holy Spider, thank you for following. Steel Dre, the only thing that can help the Raiders is prayer. Well, let's say our prayers right now then. Now I lay me down. Nah, let me stop. True, but who do you get? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. They asked again. Didn't I say I didn't want nobody to ask me that question no more? I just said I would have took Robert Saleh to get promoted to head coach. Just get another general manager that can draft. And we'll do all the drafting and scouting with his team, not just John and Kyle. The OC probably is all right. I don't know. He don't call plays. Kyle does that shit. I would have took Joe Brady. I would have took Mike McCarthy probably, as long as we got a general manager and all he has to do is coach. I would have took Mike Tomlin, John Harbaugh. There were people out there. Look, Kyle is good at preparing and game planning, but when the game kicks off and he starts calling a play, somebody should take that iPad away from him. And when it's time to get ready for the draft, somebody should let him go to somewhere. Just go on vacation. We'll take care of the scouting. Because he's missed on a lot of picks just like John. You know? And Niner fans have told me, before the trade deadline, when you were so pissed off and everybody was saying, why won't we just get rid of those picks? Trade for somebody. We're not going to do anything with those draft picks anyway. How can you admit that these motherfuckers can't draft, but you keep questioning me on who we going to replace them with? That sounds very contradictory. Now, I'm not talking about you, Sherry. I mean just Niner fans who keep asking me the same question you just asked me. She says, right. If we get another general manager, Cal can stay for a year. Let's see what you can do. If you didn't make any picks, and if you let your OC call the plays. But you can't be the head coach, the general manager, the OC. Last year he was kind of the DC too. You just wearing too many hats, brother. That's it. The Niners still going to the playoffs. That's why he'll still keep a job. And that's what I hate. The 49ers will probably let him be the head coach until he decides to retire. And even then, I'm still willing to bet he'll never win us a Super Bowl. He is literally Andy Reid in Philadelphia. And y'all know Andy Reid didn't win a Super Bowl in Philadelphia. Oh, I'm sorry. Sherry said, like I said, I'm a Raider fan. My fault. I thought that was somebody else to say that. My bad. Never forgive trading picks for Trey Lance. I never forgave it. Sure didn't. That would have been his damn termination. He would have got his termination papers right then and there. All right, y'all. I went on for way too long. Would you cut Xavier Smith from the Rams for the muff on that punt? Yep. The old style coaches would have did it. Yep, I sure would have. As a 49er fan, I think we should have picked up Mike McDaniel as OC. I do too. I thought that was going to happen. I really did. I was picturing it, boy. But you know, it would have been too good to be true if we had Robert Saleh stay another year as DC and Mike McDaniel come back as OC. That just would have been too much like right. And we didn't get McDaniel and we lost Saleh. And if you think that getting the right defensive coordinator isn't key to the 49ers offseason plans, you better think again. It could be Nick Sorensen all over again in 2024. Because Gus Bradley is not that dude. Seahawks winning in your house. Wait a minute. This is my house. They're not playing a Super Bowl in here. Nah, man, that's not my house, man. That's the 49ers' house. Shit. They not giving me no money. I'm not getting any piece of the steak. I'm not getting any merchandise sales, no ticket sales. I'm not getting none of that in the cut. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I'm an asshole. What can I say? But stop telling me that. That don't mean nothing to me, y'all. I want the Seahawks to win in the 49ers stadium. That's how real of a 49er fan I am. I want Jed York to come in the office, throw some papers around, knock the desk over, and say, what the fuck? Did you see what Mike McDonald just did? In 2 years? And he won in our stadium? What the hell are y'all doing in here, John? Kyle, what's up? That's what I want Jed York to be on. So I hope the Seahawks win. I really do. Hope they blow them out. Just for the 49er purposes. I ain't got nothing against Patriot fans. I really don't. But y'all overachieved and y'all already like a year ahead. So if you lose, it ain't the worst thing in the world. I know one thing. Drake May better get that shoulder fixed. Whatever's going on. The Seahawks did not need to know that. But if the Patriots do win, this is going to be one of the better Super Bowls of all time for them. Because they would have gone through 4 of the top 5 defenses on the road to the Super Bowl, and to win it and become champions, that would be remarkable. They beat the Chargers. They beat the Texans. They beat the Broncos. And now they got to play the Seahawks. And they're number 1 as far as scoring defense goes. The Denver was really, really tough. Inclement weather or not, Denver was tough. Okay, I've been here for nearly 90 minutes, nearly 80 minutes, so that's long enough. Let me go ahead and just get the WrestleMania stuff out the way. I mean, Royal Rumble. Y'all, I think AJ Styles and Gunther is a trap. I don't think AJ Styles is going to retire right now. Let me see how many people I'm going to lose here. If y'all leave, I'm leaving. Every time I go to wrestling, y'all get out of here. But I just want to quickly just say it. Instead of doing a whole nother episode, this ain't going to take long. I don't think Gunther's going to win, but I don't think he's going to lose either. With Sam Darnold, not Scam, Sam. I think that Gunther and AJ Styles is going to be a no contest. And I'm saying that because I think Brock Lesnar, who told Pat McAfee yesterday on the Pat McAfee show that he's going to be at the Royal Rumble. He didn't necessarily say he was going to be in the Royal Rumble, though. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to interfere in that match, and we're going to have a non-contest, a DQ or something like that. And that helps Gunther because he didn't lose to AJ Styles. And AJ Styles, he's going to be on TNA. He's on TNA, too, every other week now. So I don't know if he's retiring right now. They probably did an extension where he's going to wrestle until SummerSlam and still have a farewell tour. I don't know if fighting Shinsuke Nakamura and CM Punk was his short farewell tour. I'm going to say Brock Lesnar. If they're really doing Brock Lesnar and Gunther at WrestleMania, this is how they're going to do it. Then again, they may run it back, AJ Styles and Gunther at WrestleMania, and that's another reason why this may not be a no contest. Why this could be a no contest. That's how I'm going to say that's going to go. It's looking too obvious that AJ Styles is about to retire without them telling us he's really about to retire. He said this will be his last year. And I think that's just what it is. If I'm wrong, hey, this is what AJ Styles wanted. And hey, we got to respect his wishes. He's had a great, phenomenal career. You see how I done that? And that's it. That's that on that. What else do we have as far as matches at Royal Rumble? We'll have Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn. I hope they don't screw my boy Drew McIntyre. I really, really hope they don't. I'm from D.C., but my favorite team is the Niners. All right, Kenny, that's what's up. Bang, bang. Gunther is the new legend killer, career killer. And they've already trademarked that name. But they leaked that out, too, to make us think he's about to kill AJ Styles' career. I think he will, but it may not be right now. If it is, okay. Good career for AJ Styles, but I'm just going to go different with it because everybody's saying AJ's losing. This is his last match. I tell you what, if it is, you better make it the main event. Because it's going to be a lot of fucking booing for the rest of the night if you open the show with that match and he loses and has to retire. They may turn on them and they may just be disgruntled the entire Royal Rumble pay-per-view. PLE, I mean. I don't know. We'll see. But back to McIntyre and Sami Zayn. Drew McIntyre's supposed to win this. I think he retains still DRE. I do. But man, Sami Zayn, I don't know if they're going to let him be the world champion right now in Riyadh or they're going to wait till the WrestleMania 43 in Saudi next year. But they're going to give him another moment, even though I think he's had enough moments. But they're going to make him world champion at least once. I just hope it's not Saturday. I'm going to say Drew McIntyre retains. And but the one way Drew McIntyre can lose is if Cody or Fatu gets involved. Fatu, I would say. He would have the reason to. But I just hope they don't screw him. I'm going to say McIntyre retains, and they may go McIntyre versus Cody versus Fatu for WrestleMania or Elimination Chamber. I don't know. And then you've got the 2 Royal Rumble matches. I think Liv Morgan wins the Women's Royal Rumble. If Bianca Belair doesn't return, if she returns, she wins, which makes more sense to me because Jade is dying for some competition and everybody's bitching and complaining about it, which I understand, but damn. I didn't hear this when Tiffany Stratton was the champion. She sucked too. The only thing different between their title reigns is that she defended her title every now and then. But it was against Jade, so that sucked too, right? Remember? If Bianca Belair comes back, she wins. And that way she doesn't have to have a reason to go after Jade in her title. She won the Royal Rumble, and she has a right to go after Stephanie Valkyrie if she's still the Women's World Champion or Jade Cargill, and it makes sense to go after Jade. But if Bianca still isn't ready to come back, or if they're holding her for something else, I think Liv Morgan wins, and she's going to take that Women's World Championship at WrestleMania from probably Raquel Rodriguez. And we'll finally see the Judgment Day break up. Because she may take this title from Stephanie Valkyrie if Valkyrie is not healthy. She still seems to be favoring her ankle, even though she showed up last week without the walking boot. I don't know. But it makes more sense for her to take it off of Stephanie Valkyrie. Either way, the winner of that Women's Royal Rumble, I'm going with Liv Morgan or Bianca if she comes back, and they're going to win the title at WrestleMania. Now, Bianca won the Elimination Chamber last year, not the Rumble. So she very well could do that. We're supposed to see some surprise returns. AJ Lee may pop back up, but she ain't winning because she's going to have a match with Becky Lynch. I'm really, really disappointed in how AJ Lee is not on TV, and she's really part-time, and they told us that that wasn't the case, but it is. But anyway, I digress. Men's Royal Rumble. I'm losing people. Let me go. Hey, what's up? How you doing, B. Wayne? What's up, brother? How you been? Drew will keep the belt till Mania. I hope so, Hawk fan. Then Cody will get the belt. They all Cody too much. Yeah, no, that part I don't like. Why would Cody be the champion again, though? They just want him to be the babyface. And Triple H is doing the same shit that Vince did. Shoving babyfaces down our throats when we don't want it. Everybody who's been praising Triple H, I'm so glad he took over. He's falling into the same damn thing that Vince did. He's doing the same thing. Anyway, men's Royal Rumble match. Y'all, it's probably going to come down to Cody, Fatu, I would say Obafemi, because he's going to show out. He's going to throw a lot of people over. He's not going to win it, but he's going to really throw a lot of people over. And Roman Reigns and Braun Breaker. These will probably be the final 4 or 5. Cody and Fatu is going to be at it too much to win that Rumble. They'll probably be fighting each other, not even thinking about it, and somebody just going to toss them over. Or they're going to be fighting each other, and they're going to go over at the same time. They're not winning. If Cody wins this Royal Rumble, I'm done. Like, seriously, I'm done. If Jey Uso wins, I'm done. Like, don't do that. I think that the Royal Rumble winner will probably be Braun Breaker or Roman Reigns. That's what I've been hearing from the dirt sheets. I know the dirt sheets ain't right all the time, and sometimes the WWE purposely leaks information out just for us to think they're going one way and they go another way. But I think, Cody and Fatu and Roman and who did I say? And Braun Breaker. These will be our final 4 or 5 that will be in there. Brock Lesnar, he's going to be in there for a while. I won't be surprised if Obafemi, you know what I'm saying, throws him over. That would really put him over if he could do something like that. But either way, he's going to put a lot of people over the ropes. And that's going to put Obafemi over. And I guess he's going to Raw. I don't know if it's Raw or SmackDown, but this will be the first time we'll see him on the main roster. I think it's going to be good. And I still think at the end of the day, they want Roman to be the champion, at least going into WrestleMania. I'm not saying that they're going to do Roman and Cody 3. I'm hearing that they scratched that, which I'm glad they did, because fans are getting fatigued with that. They don't want to see that again. But if Roman wins, who was he going up against? I would say, and I'm sorry, I said Roman hold the title until WrestleMania. He's going to get the title, probably from Drew McIntyre, because he hasn't officially been in Raw. He's still technically, I guess, SmackDown. I'm not sure. Maybe that's who takes the title from Drew McIntyre. We were supposed to be getting McIntyre and Reigns, I thought, last year. This year it was supposed to be Reigns and Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins is not going to be there, I don't think. So I don't see how they do that. Could they give Roman Reigns the World Championship? Yeah, they could. But I've been told it's going to be Punk and Breaker. Now, in order for it to be Punk and Breaker, which I don't know why they would go back to that, Breaker's got to win the Royal Rumble. But then again, Paul Heyman can find a way to get Breaker back to it. I don't know. Every member of the Vision is in the Royal Rumble, though. And they could easily help Braun Breaker win this thing. Paul Heyman said on ESPN First Take yesterday that the plan is that Braun Breaker wins. Everybody sees my vision and they agree with it. So that means they're going to help him do whatever it takes if nobody turns on each other. Now, Braun Breaker shouldn't even be in the Vision. It's time to split that shit up, in my opinion. And they ain't doing that good of a job to me. But if it's Punk and Breaker, Braun Breaker probably wins. If that's the WrestleMania match. And he's going to become the World Heavyweight Champion. If Reigns wins, then I see them going Reigns and McIntyre, or they're going to do Rhodes and Cody 3. I mean, Rhodes and Reigns 3, which nobody really wants. Cody could still keep the title because The Rock could interfere in that match. And if The Rock is going to take all that money that Saudi Arabia is offering The Rock right now to come for WrestleMania 43, you know they like to start this a year ahead of time. The Rock could show up and he could spoil Roman Reigns' WrestleMania and keep him from being a champion again. And they'll just let that beef go on for a fucking year before they finally meet at WrestleMania in Saudi. They're trying to get Stone Cold to come too. They really want Stone Cold and The Rock at WrestleMania 43. But the WWE, if they do that, then that tells you they do anything for the money. Because we should not be seeing Rock or Stone Cold in big WrestleMania main events anymore. It's not 1999. It's not 2003. Just saying. That would explain that they just want the money. That confirms it. Because they should be telling the Saudi Arabia, hey, look, man, we got superstars, young superstars. This is Braun Breaker's time. Next year is going to be Bronson Reed's moment. You know, we ain't got time for all of that Rock Stone Cold shit. They can be a part of the show, but they're not going to be like, but they won't Rock and Roman. And I bet you they're going to find a way to get it because I hear they're offering a lot of money. I heard $100 million, that they'll give The Rock $100 million to show it for one night. All right, I don't know. We'll see. Stone Cold, he may show up too, though. We'll see. They paying a lot of money. Reigns versus Rhodes doesn't need a championship involved. I agree with that. SC Moore, I do. Then that means Braun Breaker's going to win then, right? I don't know. Steel Dre said Stone Cold wants that money. But Stone Cold, he turns the WWE down a lot. He really does. Waiting on more snow in NC. Oh, damn, B. Wayne. Yeah, I heard we're getting more too, man, next week. Which I hate. I do. I mean, I kind of liked it, but now I kind of don't. Because it's messing my money up. What else? Hawk fan said Triple H just loves Cody too much. Unreal showed that. He sure did. Your thoughts on Unreal? I talked about that on the wrestling episode. It's on the YouTube channel right now. I dropped that episode earlier this week. I talked about that Unreal shit. $100 million for that. That's more of a ridiculous than Brock Purdy's contract. Yeah, good one, Nathan Manning. Yeah, that's what they're offering. And you know TKO and the WWE are going to take it. Okay, y'all, that's all I got. That's my Royal Rumble predictions. I talked about the Hall of Fame snubs, Belichick and Eli and all that crap. And I talked about Giannis possibly getting traded and the teams that he is linked to. Warriors, Timberwolves, Heat, Knicks. Where do you want to see him? And we even got to kind of do a little debate about our top 5 in the NBA all time. That was interesting too. Cali Cal, I'm going to get you in here, brother. Maybe I just got to try another device and see if it works on that one. But I don't know. Sometimes when I start the live stream, it'll tell me that they cut the multi-guest off. I don't know why they're doing that. I don't know. But we're going to try to get y'all in here and get some of these debates because I have no problem with inviting people in as guests. You can ask a few people that are watching now. They know. I've done that before many of times. Okay, I'm catching up on Unreal. Says SC Moore. Yeah, man, it's all right. The only thing that was good about it was the Naomi stuff because I actually liked that part of the booking. Other than that, nothing else was really good. And I'm tired of Triple H. I told y'all he the white Diddy. In all the videos, on all the commercials. Only thing he ain't doing is dancing. Y'all tell me he ain't Diddy for real, man. We know Triple H. You run shit. God, this whole Unreal show is just for you to watch him in his day-to-day. I promise you. And I would much rather him just be on television. Just do what Vince did during the Attitude Era. And what happened to that report where they said that he was going to be on TV for a change? He was actually about to be in some angle with the Vision. And I'm pretty sure he was going to be the babyface. But I wouldn't care what he is. Go back to what you were doing with the Authority stuff, even though that wasn't all that. But this is stuff that Tony Khan should have did a long time ago too in AEW. Get on television to help push your stars. Stone Cold wouldn't have been what he became if Vince McMahon wasn't that boss, that asshole of a boss who just did not want him showing up for work. Because he would not agree with Authority. He would not. He was, Stone Cold played that guy that hit the clock. And, man, I can't stand my boss. F you. And I get to kick his ass and stun his ass every now and then. That was good television. And that's why Vince McMahon is the GOAT. I know how to separate the art from the artiste. The artwork from the artiste. I get he's a bad motherfucker. He's a piece of shit. I get it. But when it came to booking, before he lost his touch, man, he was as good as it gets. What y'all think about Triple H and Io Sky? Did y'all see that uncomfortable moment when she just jumped in the motherfucker's arms and just had her legs wrapped around his ass, and Triple H did not, get away from it either. He continued to hold her like she was a little fucking kid, but she's a grown-ass woman. How did y'all feel about that? That looked very weird. It kind of tells you why. It kind of confirms why we think whatever you've been thinking. But I know some people wonder, why does he push Io Sky so much? She's good, but yeah, I think we know why. Triple H ain't that different from Vince McMahon. He's more like Vince than you all think. I've heard that before, man. I've heard that one before. Lynn Center says you favor Brian Dawkins. Yeah, I've heard that one before. Nathan says, I want to see Giannis go to New York. Well, I saw a Celtic fan on X yesterday. He don't want to see it. We'll see. I think Karl Anthony Towns is going to get traded for him, and he's in his feelings about it. Just got that report. He's been in his feelings since the summer because his name got mentioned. I read a report right after they got Karl Anthony Towns that they only traded for Cat for a bigger fish in the pond. This is the bigger fish that they want, even though I'm not that big on Giannis. I'm going to say it again. The motherfucker ain't Kareem. At least Kareem had a hook shot. Giannis can't shoot. He ain't got no shot. But I feel like Golden State is the most obvious answer. Yeah, they can trade Kuminga to Milwaukee, Jimmy Butler to Milwaukee, even though he's out for the rest of the year, and some trade picks. Some draft picks. Hawk fan said, I like Heyman's take. Not a fan of showing the inner working if it makes sense. Decent show, though. I'm with you. He's basically saying, why are you continuing to kill kayfabe? The Steelers just hired Patrick Graham. The ex-Raiders DC agrees to join Mike McCarthy's staff. He hired somebody from the Raiders staff? Okay. Who do you think is more insufferable, Bret Hart or Triple H? Well, I used to love Triple H, I ain't gonna lie. During the Attitude Era, he was one of my favorite heels, I'm not gonna lie. Now I kind of hate him. Bret Hart is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, if we just talking wrestling. So, yeah, I love Bret Hart. I know it seems like he needs to shut up and be quiet. He may talk a little too much. He sounds like a bitter old man. And he definitely needs to let that Goldberg shit go. But the things that he said about Triple H and Shawn Michaels and stuff, man, all that stuff is true. He's not the only one that said it. He just says it a lot more than others. Mark Henry is in an interview just recently here with, what is it, Inside the Ropes or one of those podcasts, one of those wrestling podcasts. And he's being very nice about it and cool about it. But he admits to the somebody putting feces in the Rock sandwich. You know? Like, come on, man. That ain't a prank. That's a you need your ass whoop type shit. Shawn Michaels, you've heard plenty of people say Shawn Michaels was an asshole. Everybody has something bad to say about him if they really just told the truth. He talked about how they put the black paint on their face when they did the Nation of Domination parody back in the day, which we all kind of thought was funny, but he just talked about how The Rock really wanted to fuck them up because they gave him a hard time anyway. Triple H even admits, if y'all watch the WWE Rivals on A&E, he admits that, yeah, he was looking at The Rock like, who the fuck are you? But then he also admitted that I know he's going to be a star. I can see it. But then you were jealous and you were hating on him. Yeah, Triple H and Shawn Michaels were a handful. They were. But it didn't stop Vince from pushing him the way he needed to be pushed, and The Rock still became a star in spite of those guys. All right, we got some wrestling comments in here. I appreciate it. I like it. Hart Foundation. Anvil Neidhart. Neidhart, that's right, B. Wayne. Owen Hart. Owen Hart was a good dude, they say. Real good dude. He just could fuck you up in a minute if it came to that. And they killed Owen Hart. If y'all know the conspiracies, I know. They killed Owen Hart. And I kind of think that Vince feels like he missed out on a lot of money when he dropped Stone Cold on his head. I ain't never heard that. This is just my theory. Knowing Vince, the way they say Vince was, he was a monster. He was a predator. He was Diddy before Diddy, y'all. While everybody be making jokes on him, he was Diddy before Diddy. Hugh Hefner was Diddy before Diddy and Vince McMahon. All these people did this shit. Those are part of the rituals that they do in that Illuminati shit. But back to what I was saying, like, Vince McMahon probably killed Owen Hart. And I believe that was, in his mind, payback for all the money that he missed out on when Stone Cold couldn't make pay-per-views. Because he was walking around like this and shit for years. It was an accident. He was sweaty. He slipped. It was an accident. But they killed Owen Hart. For whatever reason. They killed him. Okay. NWO. New order. Hella 49 merch. Take that shit off. You come take it off. You come in here and take it down. Y'all, I'm going for the Seahawks to win the Super Bowl because I really do think the Niners need to see that. Jed York needs to see it. So you can say if you're trolling remarks and stuff, it ain't hurting me at all. It's just a football game. I ain't getting no money from the 49ers. You ain't getting no money from the Seahawks. We ain't getting no piece of the merchandise. We ain't getting no steaks, no profit sharing, no nothing. No free tickets, not even free tickets. This ain't nothing but bragging rights, brother. That's all it is. You thought that was going to make me mad or something? Vince said the show must go on. He sure did. And it did go on. The night that Owen Hart passed away in that later on that night. That said a lot about Vince, I ain't gonna lie. What you think about the defensive coordinator search? B. Wayne, I think that it needs to be Jim Schwartz. Let's overpay him right now and get him to San Fran. He's not a free agent, though. He's still under contract with the Browns, but he done told coaches he ain't coming back because they said he was visibly emotional. But I said that about an hour ago. Y'all, I've been here too long. It's time for me to wrap this up. But that's my thoughts on it. Y'all be safe. I hope y'all have a great Thursday. That's right. We don't get paid to get upset. We don't. That's why you don't get upset. All right, y'all. And then it's fake. How you gonna get upset about something that's fake? I promise you, this stuff ain't really real. Okay? Because if it was, the Seahawks would have beat the Patriots the last time they were in the Super Bowl. Huh? I mean, think about it. All right, y'all. Seahawks, Patriots 2. Who you got? I'll break more of that down. I gave you my Royal Rumble predictions. I gave you some surprise returns that could come back, could happen. I talked about Giannis Antetokounmpo. The motherfucker thinks he's Kareem. I'll be glad when he gets traded wherever he goes. Let's see if they drop the bomb between now and February the 5th like they did last year. It was the week that we were getting ready for the Super Bowl when Luka Doncic got traded to the Lakers. Let's see what happens this time. Could LeBron return to Cleveland, or is this his final year? Those are the things that I've talked about in the past 100 minutes. People say Goldberg was a bad person to wrestle. Yeah, Bret Hart. He's one of them that's been saying that forever. Which is true. People are just tired of hearing it. But yes, he was a terrible wrestler. He was a terrible wrestler. That's why people are saying Jade Cargill is the female Goldberg, which is kind of true. I just hate to admit it. All right, y'all. That says let you know if you have the physique, and you look great. Oh my God. You can still make some money and be a big draw in wrestling. Because Goldberg, he looked great. Jade Cargill looks great. So no matter how stiff you are in the ring, all you got to do is look good and you can still make some money in that business. And that's one of the things that I've always liked about it, though. Okay, that's enough. I'm done this time for real. Thank y'all. I appreciate the comments and the support. The Great Debate Show is available on all social media platforms. Subscribe on the YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. Follow on TikTok right now. Please, right now. I mean it. Follow. Don't let me see that I had over 1,000 people in here, but I only got 10 new followers. I mean, what's up with that? Same thing for YouTube. It's probably going to be about 400, 500 people that came in and out, but I'm going to have one new subscriber. Come on, y'all. Don't do me like that. Hawk fan, you too, brother. And good luck on that Super Bowl. I'm taking the Seahawks on my Hard Rock parlay. I think everybody is. That's the only reason why I could see the Patriots winning, is if everybody bets Seattle. Because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. It's all about the Benjamins, baby. No Diddy. All right. I'm out. I'll be back later. Don't forget, Royal Rumble live stream here on TikTok. I will be here. Don't miss it. Live on TikTok, I will be showing the Royal Rumble at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. Okay. That's it. That's all I got. Y'all be safe. Until the next time, peace. And y'all try not to get snowed in, or I hope y'all are getting better and people got their power back. Y'all be safe and stay warm.